Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole Swanson. If you're new here, hi, welcome in. Today we'll be discussing a subject matter that just seems like it is just so difficult for a lot of people to comprehend. And that is because I feel like a lot of people just don't know a lot of information about it. But today we're going to break it down so easy for you that by the time you leave this video, you will have a great understanding of everything and anything about this subject matter. And that is trust. We're going to break down what trusts are. We're going to break down why you need one, how to register and set up one, how to utilize one, how to go about managing one, and also those taxes. Because, yes, trust have taxes. Let's talk about it. First, we're going to talk about what is a trust. So, when you think about a trust, I want you to think about you have a treasure chest, right? You have a big old treasure chest, and inside of that treasure chest, you're going to put in some toys that you want to play with or that you want to protect everybody else from playing with. Okay, so inside that chest, you're going to put in a house, you're going to put in a business, you're going to put in some investment properties, you're going to put in some money. And so, you're going to have all these things in this chest that you're going to be, working yourself hard for, and you want to protect it and you want to keep it from everybody else and you want to keep it in secrecy and privacy and all this kind of stuff. So you close that chest and you lock it up and you store it away. And in some cases, you pull it back out, and in some cases, you don't, depending on what type of treasure chest you have. Essentially, that's just what a trust is. So break this down for the adults in the room, okay? Because if you're like me, you like things explained to you like a fifth grader, and I really, really do that a lot because I love that. But we're going to break this down in layman's adult terms. Okay. So essentially, a trust is just like a document. That's it, or multiple page document, like a decree, if you will. And so this decree will outline specific directions and instructions on how the trust is to be managed or how the assets in the trust is to be managed, from the money to the properties to the investments and the businesses and so on. And so you will have whoever sets the trust up will have the opportunity to make the rules, basically instructions, directions. And so it will be as detailed as it possibly and humanly possibly can, hopefully. And then you will abide by those instructions that are within that trust. The person who sets the trust up is usually called the grantor of the trust, and the person who manages the trust is usually called the trustee. All right. Now, could the grantor and the trustee be the same person? Yes. You need to also have one more person that will manage the trust with you in most cases, depending on where you are and how the trust is set up. But there are so many different aspects and so many different ways of managing and running and operating your trust. Let's get into some of those types of trust. For starters, we're going to talk about some of the most popular trusts that people tend to utilize. And there's a list of different trusts out there, but we're going to stick to the most common ones because these are the ones that people tend to flock to the most. The first one that we're going to address is the revocable trust. Now, I want you to think about revocable and think about the word revoke at the same time. Okay. At any time, a revocable trust can be canceled. It can be changed. You can go inside of that treasure chest that I was talking about and take some things out and move some things around. That is what makes it a revocable trust. So all you have to remember is that the word revoke and revocable, they are similar. Okay, so you should not get this confused or misunderstood in any way, but they are similar. In this trust, you're going to be the person who owns the assets in the trust, and you can utilize it at your disposal, and you can change some things and alter some things as you so please. This trust doesn't offer you a great deal of protection, but there is some type of concealment with your assets. Okay. The next trust we're going to talk about is the irrevocable trust. So you can just think about this as the opposite version of the revocable trust. In this trust, you will have it set in stone as you will think about it. Okay. So once you set it up and it's outlined and it's planned and it's, have all its instructions and directions, this trust will be as is. Like there is no changing things around, there is no moving stuff around. You can add more things to the trust, but as far as like doing all the cancellations and all this kind of stuff, it usually doesn't happen. All right. So when you have an irrevocable trust, your protection is top level. Okay. This means that you no longer own the assets that are in the trust. The trust now owns the assets. And honestly, that is the way you want it to be. You want it to be total protection from any type of lawsuits, legal obligations, divorces, and things and so forth. So if you are someone who is extremely wealthy, coming into some money or have your own things going on, I would advise you to not own anything but control everything. And you can do that very much so with irrevocable trust. This is a way to protect your money, your bank accounts, your assets, and so on. So you don't have to worry about all that other stuff that comes along with people trying to take your things away from you. It will be protected. You may hear people refer to a trust as a living trust, and this is a trust that is active during your lifetime. And this trust can also be revocable or irrevocable. It's up to you how you want to manage that, but you have the options there. Then you have the testamentary trust. So if you think about testamentary, you should automatically think about court, right? Testament. And so this type of trust only becomes effective when your will becomes effective. That means at the time of your death. So if you want to basically have a box of surprises for people, oh, what did he leave me? What did she leave me? What did I get? You can set this type of trust up where it becomes effective in the event of your demise. There is also something that is called a special needs trust, which is great if you are a special needs parent and you're worried about how your child will be protected, cared for, and how they will get their fair share of the pie in the event that you are up out of here. Then that trust really helps to delegate how things will happen and run and operate on behalf of the special needs child. It is also a way for you to continue to acquire those benefits for the special needs child while also, keeping things in line within the trust for the child. There's also something out here that people like to utilize that's called a land trust. And a land trust is something that you can have for years, 50, 60 years. And this trust is how your land will be managed at the event of your death. Okay. It doesn't require you to put anybody's name on the trust as far as a trustee or a management, but you can designate beneficiaries to a land trust. And it is often used for real estate, and it is often used for people who have a great deal of real property in the form of land. Now that we've discussed what trusts are, the types of trusts, let's talk about why you need one or why you would want one. So, there are many different reasons why people would want to get a trust. The first one is being protection, of course. People want to protect their assets from lawsuits, from divorces, and so on and so forth. People want to protect their assets from leaving their family lineage and dismantling their generational wealth. People want to protect their assets from public knowledge, and so they just want secrecy and they want a little bit of privacy. So, protection will be the main reason that a lot of people really have trust. It's also a way for you to hide your assets, if you know what I mean, so that you can still live what I call a rich, broke life. That is, utilize the system, benefits, low income benefits, government benefits, housing benefits, but as well as still having your own assets. Because when you have a trust, in most cases, like we talked about the irrevocable trust, technically you don't own anything. So on paper, that is not your home, that is not your car, that is not your income. That's the trust. So a lot of people do that also to conceal their assets, which is a power move. It's a power move. Another reason that people get trust is because of control. Now, you get to control what happens in your trust, how it happened, when it happened, for who it happened, and for how long it happened. So, say for example, you have children and you pass away. Well, you want your child to graduate college first before they have access to any of the trust benefits. And so you can outline that in a trust. Well, my daughter, once she turns 18 years old, she can have, you know, um, 25% of the trust funds that are in the trust. And once she graduate college, she can have 75%. And once she get married, she can have 100%. You get to designate control over the trust. This ensures that the assets that's in the trust stay in the trust the right way and that is utilized the right way by the right people. And also, you can kind of gauge how people kind of mature over their lifetime. And so, you don't want to give an 18-year-old like millions of dollars or all of these assets, knowing that they probably need to mature a little bit more. They probably need a little bit more knowledge. And so, some people know that, so they'll set the trust up, whereas they meet milestones in their lives and then they can access certain points or certain benefits of the trust. And of course, another reason why people want trust is because they want to avoid the whole court situation. Probate is a headache. Probate will not only eat up the funds that are in your trust, but it takes a long time sometimes for probate to be settled in the event of your death. So if you're out here and you're operating according to a will, or you're depending on a will to carry your family through after your demise, it will take your family some time to get through probate court to make sure that everything in that will is where it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be. And sometimes a probate process can cost them thousands of dollars, and it can take them a very long time. It is a headache. So if you can, forego the will and get a trust. Now let's talk about setting up a trust. Setting up a trust is actually quite simple. You just need to know what you're going to put in the trust. And if you don't have anything to put in there just yet, then you want to make sure that you understand how you can put it in there later on. All you're going to do is make a total list of everything that you would like to have in the trust. Things could include any money, any property, any investments, or anything that you consider to be valuable to you. It can be jewels, it could be heirlooms, whatever you decide that is valuable to you. You can make a list of it, and it can go as ownership of the trust and stay in your family lineage, or stay protected from anybody and anything that you want it to be protected from. The next thing you're going to do is choose a trustee. You want to choose someone to manage your trust. Now I'm giving you a checklist. Okay, so this is setting up your trust. You're going to make a list of the things that you want to go in there, and the second thing that you're going to do is choose a trustee. This trustee is going to be someone that facilitates the actions in the trust. They're going to pay all of the trust bills. They're going to manage the trust upkeep. They're going to make sure that all of the taxes are paid, and they're going to make sure things are disseminated as they need to be to who they need to get to. Okay, so you want to pick someone that you trust. Maybe you want to do this yourself. Maybe you want to hire an attorney to do this. Trust me, if you have a family full of irresponsible people, I would suggest 100% to hire an attorney to do this. They are impartial, they will be fair, they will make sure that everything is handled and settled 100%. Next thing you want to do is to name the beneficiaries of the trust. Remember, your beneficiaries are the people who just benefit from what's inside of the trust. That could be anyone you want. So make sure that you make a comprehensive list to keep people who are going to utilize this trust utilizing it, and those that you don't want utilizing it, do not put them on the list. Okay. The next step in this process is going to be writing the trust document. When you do this, listen to me clearly. Please listen to me clearly. Hire an attorney to do this with you. There is nothing like getting to the finish line and really needing the trust utilized, and really needed to utilize the trust, and then get to a point where you say, oops, I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda. You don't want that on your conscience, and you don't like it. That feeling isn't a good feeling. You want to go ahead and set it up the right way the first time, with an attorney who can advise you on what to do. And not just any attorney. You want to make sure you go to an attorney who is used to handling estate planning. Those will be the people who knows exactly the ins and out of everything, because law is a vast field and there are many different areas of study. So you want to make sure that you pick an attorney who is educated and experienced in trust planning, estate planning, family planning, wealth planning, all of that. They will know exactly what to do and how to guide you in creating your trust document. After you've created the document, then the next step in the process is going to be to transfer assets into the trust. Anything that you deem valuable, whatever it is. Remember, we made that list ahead of time, and that list was made so that you can be very organized in the process. You're going to go through the processes of transferring ownership. And this process can be a little bit, time consuming, because you have to go and talk to people, you have to go and sign documents, you have to go and transfer ownership of different things. And so that is why it is very, very important to make that list ahead of time, so you know exactly what you need to do and how you need to move in order for those assets to be in the trust. Again, your attorney will walk you through that, because it will differ by the company that you have to deal with, and you can always seek that advice from your attorney. I will not advise you on how exactly to do that, because that will change by the company. But on the basic level of things, you would simply just go in and let them know, like, hey, I want to change my ownership of my home. I want to change my name from the owner on my deed to my trust being the owner of my deed, and so on and so forth. And it shouldn't give you any problems about that. Now, the cost of your trust is going to drastically depend on how you file it, where you file it, and whether or not you use legal representation to help you file or construct or compose your trust. And it can range anywhere from a few $100s all the way to thousands of dollars. Now, there are sites out there that will walk you through the process of setting up your own trust for about $400 to $500. And those sites are like LegalZoom, right? And so you can go to LegalZoom and you can construct a trust on their site, and they give you the options to have to speak to someone if you need help. But they also provide you with all of the tools and resources and documents that you need in the event that you simply can't afford thousands of dollars to consult an attorney, or you don't really have a very detailed, extravagant trust setup. Then you can probably do it yourself on their site. And I'll link the information in the description box below. Now, when it comes to the trust as well, you will need to still satisfy the trust tax obligations. And so that means paying any taxes that are going along with the estate. So, estate taxes is what's primarily you will be paying. There are so many different incentives and tax breaks that you can get depending on how your trust is set up. But there are also reductions in your tax bill as well. But you will need to make sure that you talk to that attorney, because that attorney will tell you before you even start composing the trust how you can reduce the tax bill and how you can sometimes just eliminate tax obligations in general. But you will still have to pay your estate planning tax or estate taxes. You will still have to satisfy any type of taxes that are attached to real estate in the trust, and so on and so forth. There is also something that is called a gift tax. So be very careful when you are gifting things within the trust, because a gift over a certain amount of money or a certain amount of value can also be taxable. Conversation around trust needs to be had in every single family dynamic. It doesn't matter if you're wealthy or not. You should educate yourself and your children on what trusts are and why they need one every single day, or every single generation, I should say. And it is very easy to secure your life and to make sure that you have everything that you want and everything that you need. And like I mentioned before, if you're someone who have a trust and everything is managed through the trust, and you want to take advantage of many different things that are going on with businesses and that are going on in your city, you can obviously do that as long as you have those assets through the ownership of the trust, and they don't really have those assets through you. You can read between the lines. I'm not going to advise you to do anything, but make sure you keep it legal. And then you can have a rich, broke life and a fulfilled life and a fancy life without all of the, hassling of all of the hustle and bustle of working as an American in this country. If you enjoy these type of conversations and you like estate planning, real estate, mindset, and money conversations, then go ahead right now and hit that subscribe button for me. That lets me know that I have people on here who really want to hear more of what I have to say, and it helps me to help you in many different ways. Until next time, guys, I'm Nicole. Come back and see me till the next video. Bye.